Hello, friends. David Paulides here. And welcome back to the only place where we confront the unsettling truth about the wilderness we call home. Today, we're taking a long, hard look into the black hole of disappearances that plagues our national park system. We're not talking about simple accidents. We're talking about cases that fit a distinct, unnerving profile cases that belong in the archives of Missing 411. These are the vanishings that haunt the rangers and defy conventional explanation. For years, law enforcement and park services have struggled to categorize these vanishings. They try to find mundane explanations, but the evidence simply doesn't support them. When you apply the Missing 411 criteria, when you look for the geographical clusters, the complete lack of scent for the canines, the sudden bizarre weather changes, a pattern emerges. A pattern that screams of a force operating outside the known laws of search and rescue. Let's start with a case that defines the Missing 411 conundrum. Mitchell Dale Stelling at Mesa Verde National Park. This occurred in a high desert environment, an area unforgiving even on a good day. June 9th, 2013. Dale, a seasoned outdoorsman, tells his family he's taking a quick quarter-mile hike to the spruce tree house. He was fine. Good spirits. Gone for 2 hours. And the alarm is raised. That's a common theme in Missing 411. The victims are often experienced hikers, but they disappear on the easiest part of the journey, within shouting distance. The time frame is always too short for a plausible, catastrophic accident. The search was immense. 70 people. Dogs. Helicopters. They scoured the canyons and the trails, but found nothing. For 7 years, the park kept it secret. Then, in 2020, an anonymous tip leads to the discovery of his remains. 2 miles away. The terrain he was found in was remote, inaccessible to the public. The Park Service closed the case quickly, no foul play. No cause of death released. Now, ask yourself, how does an experienced hiker, supposedly lost, cover 2 miles across punishing arid terrain, and then lay undiscovered for 7 years in a heavily searched area? It defies logic. It matches the Missing 411 finding of bodies placed in highly improbable, previously searched locations. It's as if something brought him there. After the search had ended, this pattern of impossible logistics is even more chilling when the missing is a child. Look at Kenny Miller in Yosemite National Park in 1992. This case is truly heartbreaking. Kenny, a 2-year-old with the mental capacity of a 4-year-old, was happily throwing stones into a creek. His parents and sister turn away for mere seconds. The blink of an eye, and he's gone. An immediate, frantic search ensues, focusing on the creek and nearby trails. A month later, Kenny's body is found on a rocky ridge near Stevens Peak at 9. 800 feet. This is nearly 2 miles from the point of disappearance. Think about this. A child with limited faculties, dressed for a day hike, somehow navigated dangerous, rocky, high-altitude terrain alone. This isn't a child wandering off. This is a child found in an impossibly difficult, illogical location. It's one of the core profile points of Missing 411. Victims are found a significant distance from where they vanished, often higher in elevation. They usually lack the proper clothing or gear to have survived the journey. Yet here they are. And then we have the gold standard of the impossible case, Dennis Martin, Great Smoky Mountains National Park, 1969. This is a case that has tormented me for decades. A Father's Day camping trip, Spence Field. Near the Appalachian Trail, 6-year-old Dennis and a couple of other boys decide to play a quick prank on the adults. Dennis splits off, heading northwest. A playful, split-second decision. But Dennis never showed. He vanished into the thick, misty woods. The largest search in Smoky Mountains history, 400 people. Dogs. Helicopters battling heavy rains and thunderstorms. And yet, nothing. Not a single trace of the boy. The dogs, the legendary canines of search and rescue, completely failed to pick up a sustained scent. This failure is a signature of missing 411 cases. It's almost as if the individual, or whatever took them, stepped across an invisible threshold where human scent cannot exist. Now, let's talk about the sinister details. A hiker, Harold Key, reports hearing a blood-curdling scream, a sickening sound shortly after Dennis vanished. He also claims to have seen a strange, hurried man in the woods. Abduction is a possibility. But the wilderness swallows the physical evidence. Or consider the unnerving possibility I've documented in my books, The Cryptid Factor, a local variant of the Nantinaq operating in the Appalachian Range. Could a powerful apex predator, capable of moving quickly and silently through dense brush, have been responsible for that scream, strong enough to subdue a child and leave no trail? The lack of evidence suggests a creature that defies tracking, or even darker. What if we're looking at something I explore in Missing 411? The UFO connection. Unidentified flying objects or phenomena are often reported near these vanishing points. Could the strange man have been a misinterpretation of something that utilized a dimensional rift, a localized tear in reality that opens, takes the subject, and closes, leaving no trace for a scent dog to follow? The element of water is another crucial factor in the Missing 411 analysis. We see it in the tragic fate of Noemi Alatis in Hawaii, and the terrifying sequence involving Gail Stewart near Lake Mead. Gail Stewart's story is truly unique. She essentially vanished twice. First, found clinging to a tree on a steep slope, hypothermic and completely disoriented. A month later, she drives 479 miles to the Lake Mead National Recreation Area. She walks away from her vehicle to take photos and is never seen again. The desert and the vast water have simply claimed her. This double disappearance strongly suggests a form of mental or environmental manipulation. Was she compelled to return to a dangerous spot? Then you have Monty and Brian Bolton at Channel Islands National Park, venturing into the sea caves. The dinghy found upright, partially filled with water. Brian's body recovered, but Monty is gone, lost to the turbulent, unforgiving sea and the maze of underwater tunnels. In these water cases, the disappearance is often immediate, violent, and complete. But we must also consider the possibility of a large, intelligent marine cryptid, something that utilizes these deep, rocky caves as a lair. These caves are known to exhibit unusual wave patterns. This theme of bodies turning up in improbable locations, or not at all, brings us back to the bodies that are found, often without clear explanation. John Pennington at the Grand Canyon, found 465 feet below the canyon's rim, near his abandoned motorcycle. How did he fall so far from a major trail? Why was the motorcycle there? Julia Christine Devlin in Shenandoah, found in steep and rough terrain, 600 meters from her wrecked car. The body was discovered after 10 agonizing days of searching. In the vast majority of these cases, the recovery is delayed. The physical evidence is minimal, and the official cause of death is either undetermined or unsatisfactorily explained. They just don't know what happened. Why? Why are the bodies of the missing, when they are recovered, so often placed in these illogical locations? It suggests a carry-up or a long, arduous trip they were simply incapable of making in their condition. The National Park Service will always tell you to stay on the path. Be prepared. That's sound advice. But the missing 411 cases teach us a darker lesson. They teach us that sometimes, even if you follow every rule, even if you are an experienced veteran or a capable hiker, the wilderness has its own rules, and it keeps its secrets deep within the canyons and the forests. It's a chilling thought, isn't it, that in the most beautiful places in America, there are invisible boundaries. There are traps. And there is a force, this force, be it a dimensional anomaly, an unseen predator, or a secret that the Park Service is determined to keep hidden, can reach out and snatch a human being in the blink of an eye, leaving behind only the haunting. Baffling characteristics of a missing 411 disappearance. The files remain open. The answers remain elusive. And every new headline reminds us that the wilderness keeps its secrets, and that the count only keeps going up.